It's just everything foobarred for her in that moment. What are your favorites?
So I think we have a lot of things in common. So the number one scene for me in this film is when she unloads the gun into the alligator's mouth. Whoa. I absolutely love that scene because in another film, she would use half the bullets and kill it. She used the entire clip. And it's such a good reversal of roles. She gets a gun. Oh, she could fight her way out. Oh, she used all the bullets to kill one alligator. I absolutely love that scene. My second favorite is the bathroom scene because, again, who thought of that? No one thinks of writing like that, and it's so clever and so well executed. And that's basically what the trailer was. That's what got people excited, was this overhead shot of a woman trying to escape an alligator in a bathroom, which shouldn't work. It really shouldn't work, but somehow it does.
So they built that set specifically, and it was like, obviously they had to, but behind the scenes, man, you got to watch that clip because it's really cool how they did it. It just looks so neat. Oh man, I love it.
So my third favorite is when they get knocked back into the house.
Yes.
In the theater, people started laughing. Like, everyone was laughing, and it was like this moment of like, I can't believe this is still going. And it didn't feel like a I'm laughing at this film. It felt like they were laughing because they didn't know how to react to the moment. They're like, they almost got out. Oh my God, they're back in the house again.
Made me so happy.
Yeah, it's great. It was a great decision. This wasn't on your list, but I absolutely love when the burglars get killed.
Oh my God. It's brutal.
It is. It's brutal when the young guy is getting hit against the window over and over and over again. But what I like is that whole scene and how kind of weird it is. It's like these characters who you don't really have any emotional attachment to. They look very Florida. I believe one of them has USA swim trunks on. I could be wrong.
And they're
but
stealing an ATM. That's the most Florida thing on the planet. That's the most Florida thing ever.
While robbing the convenience store of just like junk food. Yep. Yeah, I really love that scene. This is my final, and it's very small, and I feel like most people would miss this.
Can I guess? I feel like I have a feeling. When she comes out of the little tunnel and there's a beware gators sign that she swims past.
No, it's not. Okay. That's a guess, though. It's a good guess. There was a moment where B-Pep is beating an alligator with a brick.
And then he kills one with a shovel.
Yeah. And I'm like, you can look at his brick. Go.
So I don't know if you remember this, but when I watch a movie, I'll do my thoughts about them. You can see them on Twitter, Movies, Films with Flicks Facebook. But I just I have now seen Barry Pepper punch an alligator. And it made me feel like he's 48 years old, but I felt like a proud parent.
Finally, he punched an alligator. Yeah. And along these lines, what do you think about their decision to end the film with her holding up the flare and not getting into the helicopter?
They get into the helicopter. So a lot of people in the theater did not like it. They there was a bit of an annoyance after that scene because a lot of people want closure. You know what I realized is that 47 meters down, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually really love the first one, and I think the ending is extremely mean, and it doesn't give you closure. But a lot of people that I've spoken to about it hate that scene. They hate that they don't get closure. So I could sense some of that in it. But for me, I didn't need to see it because it's up for you to determine. I don't need to be told everything. But I just left going, yeah, they're fine. They're good. Everyone lives.
I felt the same way. And this is the conversation I literally had with the person I saw it with after this. We go, what is the craziest thing that could happen next? And the guy turned to me and said, they get into the helicopter and the pilot's a gator. just like out of nowhere, the film just starts screwing with you. It's like, oh God, this is a dream. What?
And then she wakes up.
How would you have reacted if the pilot was a gator and then the movie ended right there?
I think it would be so audacious that I would love it. I love, there are endings that people legitimately hate, and I think they have a reason for it. But sometimes I love when they're audacious. Like I love when they're stupid. But you know what though? Alex did that already. Aja did that already with Piranha 3. Oh wait, I can't say. You haven't seen Piranha 3D, have you?
I have not.
Okay. But I won't say anything. But he's been there, done that. Like High Tension, he had a twist. He's had twists in his films before. So I just think he wanted to end it on a nice note. And I think he did. I liked it. I don't know. And also, they didn't have much money. And a helicopter scene is very expensive. So
that's very true.
They didn't, you can't have that much of an expense on set. So that might be a budgetary reason as well.
Yeah. What do you think he's going to do next? Like, do you think he's going to continue making these type of films?
Well, so you sent me a neat link. He's going to be working with Amblin and Steven Spielberg on an interactive movie. I have no idea what that means. But the thing is, so Sam Raimi, after watching High Tension, was going to he hand wrote Alex a letter to direct Messengers, that Kristen Stewart movie. He ended up working on Hills Have Eyes instead. Sam Raimi, when he got this script, he and the other producer immediately were like, we got to get Alex for this. So when they made the movie, Sam Raimi gave him the letter that he was going to send to him back in 2004. Then you have Tarantino, who loves him. You have Spielberg, who loves him. You have Sam Raimi. I mean, people respect this guy. And Piranha 3D, the behind-the-scenes footage, Adam Scott was saying, this shoot has been hell. It's hot. It's unpredictable. There's been a lot of issues with production. But then Adam Scott, the actor, Adam Action Man Scott, in the film, he has a great scene. But he goes, it's on time. He's like, they are not behind schedule. They're going to finish on time. He's like, that's a miracle. He's like, this ship is organized. He's like, everything they've thrown at him, he's like, it's a miracle. No one's dead, and it's finished on time and on budget. So this is a guy who can take $13.5 million and make it look like 30. Let's say 30, not 50. He can finish Piranha 3D, a grueling on-location shoot, on time. And all of his movies make money. Piranha 3D was loved by critics. This was loved by critics. So whatever he does next is a long way of saying this, but I think he's really respecting the industry, and I think he can kind of do what he wants now with this film.
Yeah, this does feel like the case study has been proven.
Yeah.
It's like he did these other films. Like he went to High Tension, and High Tension led to basically now he's working in Hollywood. But it feels like the next thing he's gonna work on is huge, and we're clearly talking about him working with Spielberg, so it's going to be huge. But this is going to be he's going to be a name that we're gonna probably be talking about again in another couple years.
I gotta tell you something, man. Like you and I watch a lot of movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We forget about a lot of movies. Would you say?
Yes. Oh, God, yes.
There are times when I see a movie on, I'm like, oh, yeah, I watched that. I'll watch a movie 2 months later. I'm like, oh, yeah, I watched that. I keep getting reminded that I watched films. I'm like, oh, yeah, I liked it. But his films, right? So High Tension, there's a scene in the house by the staircase that I'll never forget. In Hills Have Eyes, the axe flip moment, the remake. In Piranha 3D, I don't want to tell you, but it's just like, and now Crawl, there have been moments in his movies that stay with me. So I don't know what it is about him. I know his cinematographer, Maxine Alejandra, he's great. He shot Shazam, and he shot The Haunting of Hill House, a couple episodes of that. Voices, which I love. Maniac, Crazes. You know what's crazy? Some of my favorite recent horror films. He did The Nun, that's terrible. But I love The Crazies, I love Maniac, and I love The Voices. That's more of like a psychological type film. But they look beautiful. So I don't know. Maybe it's the cinematographer, I don't know. But he's very good at creating things that burn in my memory. And a lot of directors don't have that with me. So it's another way of complimenting him again.
Yeah, it's very true. I watch a lot of films that I just completely forget about. And this is one I'm not going to forget about because it knows what it is.
Yep. And
a good example is Meg, The Meg. That is a movie that I really want to love, and I love parts of it. But it is ultimately a bland movie because it doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
It wants to be horror, it wants to be action, it wants everyone to like it. This film is, I want 30% of the population to like me, and those 30% are gonna not just like me, they're gonna love me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good point. And I mean, and the end result was $91 million. I mean, and
13 is great.
And the P&R, right? Like that could have only been maybe, let's say at the most 30 million. So you're at 43. So it made $45 million just in profit, most likely, let's say. And then, what's crazy, man? This movie had a review embargo on it. And the review, so I was going to watch it anyway. We bought tickets for the opening weekend because I just love the director and I love any creature feature. And when the review, I was like, that's not good because the review embargoes are not good. Like Doolittle had a review embargo and look at the reviews. But then the reviews came in And it was like 98%. And then it dropped to 83. But I wonder if the people who released it, if they did that on purpose to create a word of mouth type-esque film. But you need a big opening. You need a big opening to stay in theaters. So I wonder if they underestimated it and they should have lifted the embargo sooner to let people know a month in advance how good the movie was.
Yeah. It feels like they completely underestimated it. They completely did not realize what they had on their hand. Because, again, when was the last time you had a creature feature that wasn't sci-fi related?
Yeah.
You know, because there's always, like, Alien in Space, Alien Redux,
yeah.
the one that came out last year with Ryan Reynolds. And then the Alien Underwater. That's coming out now.
Life and Underwater, yeah.
Exactly. I don't think they knew what they had. I just don't think they realized the audience want these type of B movies that there's a desire out there for them. And was this a Blumhouse film?
No, this was not.
Yeah, this feels like a Blumhouse. Like give it $10 million, and then they go out and make something very specific. I would say that Blumhouse is probably the only studio that really gets that. Like, you can make B movies and you're still going to make money off them.
Yeah, I mean, and okay, this sounds crazy, but I think this movie, I think with Blumhouse, I don't know, one of them, I don't know, with the exception of a few films, the quality is not as high as it was here in Crawl.
No, they have a couple really good ones and a bunch of stuff in the middle. And then there's, like, Unfriended.
I mean, well, you know what, man? I love that franchise, and I like the second one a lot. That one really sticks with me. Dark Web. There's some scenes that get me that hit hard. Like they're tough. But I love the Happy Death Days. I think they have a wonderful model what they're doing. I mean, they're making so much money. I teach that in my classes about how to make money. But I don't know. This one just seems it doesn't. But I get exactly what you're saying. It's a very specific genre picture for little money that was made. But.
So I have one more thing that I want to talk about, one major thing.
Yeah.
And this is a critique of this film. And if I had to critique this film, the one thing I would say it's missing, and maybe not even missing, but maybe I would have enjoyed, was a couple one-liners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Your luggage. Eraser.
That's a really good one-liner, actually.
See you
I'm
later.
Gonna turn you to shoes.
See you later, alligator.
I wrote some one-liners to specific scenes that I'm going to read to you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's be honest. I didn't go to UCB. I am not a comedian. This is just the best I got.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So when B-Pep is beating the alligator with the brick, imagine him saying, "No one messes with a Florida man."
Florida man! Just screams it out loud.
Okay. When the daughter is getting her hand chewed on with the gun inside the alligator's mouth, chew on this.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. What if when she's trapped in the bathroom and she climbs over and locks the gator in? Here we go. It's time to wash your mouth out with soap. That one's a bad one, I know.
See you later.
And then finally when she stabs the alligator with the flare, she goes, "Who's the apex predator now?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that.
We didn't even talk about that scene, honestly. That's a great scene.
I mean, we haven't talked about a lot of this movie. How about this? Let's take a quick break, and we come back. We'll dive a little bit into the actual plot. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I have a surprise for you, David.
What's that?
We're going to do a draft, a surprise draft.
Oh, God. Okay, let's do it.
All right, we are going to do a draft with movies featuring alligators or crocodiles. That doesn't have to be about them. It just has to feature them in some aspect. All right? So
Okay.
I'm going to give you like 30 seconds to catch your bearings on it. I'll drop some facts on you got everyone listening and you real quick while you're trying to Google real quick about movies. So I just want to say there's a couple things I love about give you a few. Does that sound good? Give you like 30 seconds?
I'm gonna I have my top 3 already, but I need to get 2 more.
All right, sounds good. So what I love about this movie is he really wanted these alligators to have no agenda. There's no scar. She stabs one, then later on in the movie, it's like, I'm gonna get you. And it follows